Hi everyone! Thanks for visiting my channel. I hope this finds you all safe and well. If you are new here, welcome. I'm Carol, the Thrifty Chic Housewife, and I would love it if you would consider subscribing to my channel if you enjoy the content that you find here. Like and share my videos, and check me out on social media. I will leave all the links for you in the description box below. So today we are going to be doing some canning. I'm going to actually be doing some steam canning, but the recipe I'm going to share is water bath canning or steam canning. And for those of you who are not familiar with steam canning, and if you're new to my channel, just as an FYI, I have fallen in love with steam canning. You can use any recipe that can be water bath canned. You can steam can. It's quicker, it takes less water, and it's really great. So I'm going to be steam canning today. The only caveat to steam canning is you cannot process for longer than 45 minutes. So make sure any recipe that you're using that's a water bath canning recipe, that it's not longer than 45 minutes after you adjust for your altitude. So we're going to be making a saucy sloppy joe starter. And we are going to be making it, this is a recipe out of the all-new Ball Book of Canning and Preserving. It's not really new anymore, it's been out several years, but it's a really great book. Have a lot of great recipes in here, and if you follow my channel for very long, you know we've canned quite a few things out of it. So today we're going to be doing the Saucy Sloppy Joe starter, and I'm going to pretty much stick to this recipe. If you watched my video on making sloppy joes from scratch, the sauce that I make from scratch is very similar to this one. Many of you asked if we could can it. I'm going to be adding a few things that I've added to my sauce that are not on here, but I know that they're still safe for canning and they're just for flavoring. But the one thing that I want to point out with this, there are some low acid foods in here, onions and bell peppers. So with that being said, I need you to please, please, please hear me. This is really important that you stick to the amounts of the low acid foods that we're going to be putting into our jars. Ball does not really talk a lot about this, but the National Center for Home Food Preservation does. There are recipes that we can safely water bath or steam can that have low acid foods in them, like the peppers and the onions, but it's really important that they are balanced properly with the right acidity. So any recipe that you're water bath canning, I wouldn't deviate too far from that recipe in adding more of a low acid food, like more peppers or more onions, because you can throw off the acidity in your jars and then it becomes unsafe. So it's really important that you stick to the amounts that they have written for this recipe, because that's how it was written, that's how it was tested. So please hear me on this. It's really important that we stick to the amounts in the recipe. Like I said, the only things that I'm going to be adding a little bit of are things that I know that are safe for canning, and they are seasonings. So with that being said, just keep that in the back of your mind to make sure you measure as accurately as possible. So we're going to be using green bell pepper, red bell pepper, some onion, salt and pepper, some tomato paste, tomato sauce, apple cider vinegar, that's the acidity that we need, as well as the tomatoes, those are acidic also, some Dijon mustard, and a little bit of brown sugar. So the first thing that they want us to do is to line a large rimmed baking sheet with aluminum foil, and we're going to coat it with cooking spray, and then we're going to spread out our peppers and our onions on the baking sheet, and we're going to roast them in the oven. Now typically you would do this step in a skillet, but in order to do it in a skillet you need to use some fat, which is another caution that I want to mention here. I'm not going to saute them in a skillet, because you have to be careful with the amount of fat that you put in things. There are some recipes that I have shared that do allow you to saute your vegetables first in a little bit of fat, but this recipe is not written that way. So I'm going to follow the recipe. You guys know, if you follow me for very long, you know I'm a safety girl. So we are going to follow this recipe, and we're only going to use the cooking spray to add a little bit of fat to roast our vegetables and start the cooking process of our vegetables. So that's another caution. So both of those things are really important, guys. Please, please, please hear me on this. We're water bath canning. We need to be careful to not throw off our pH level, and we need to be careful not to add too much fat. So we need to follow the recipe as closely as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and preheat my oven. I'm going to chop my onions and my bell peppers, and when I come back, we're gonna pop them in the oven and we're gonna roast them off. Okay guys, I lined my baking sheet with aluminum foil, and then I sprayed it with cooking spray. And then I chopped, it's 3 cups of red pepper, 3 cups of green pepper, and 2 cups of onion, and that works out to be about 2 large onions, 2 large green bell peppers, and 2 large red bell peppers. And you want to chop them kind of small. Their definition they used is finely chop them. And so that's what I did. And then now we're going to add 4 teaspoons of salt and 1 teaspoon of black pepper, but that's kind of to taste. That's their recommendation, but that's to taste. You can safely add more salt or pepper if you prefer. But again, please stick to the 3 cups of each bell pepper and 2 cups of onion. Do not use more. You can always use less, but you cannot use more. So I've preheated my oven to 375 degrees, and I'm going to put it in the oven. Their instructions are to bake it at 375 until your vegetables are starting to get tender and they start to brown. The edges are starting to turn brown. So I'm going to go ahead and pop them in the oven. You also want to stir it every 5-10 minutes or so that they cook evenly, and it's going to take about 20 minutes for us to get to that point. So I'm going to pop them in the oven, get my other ingredients ready, and I will bring you back when we're done. Okay guys, our veggies are all done. They cooked for about 25 minutes. You want them to get nice and soft, and the edges will start to brown a little bit for you. So now what we need to do is we need to transfer our veggies into, the recipe says a skillet. I'm not going to use a skillet. I'm going to use a large saucepan. So I'm going to go ahead and transfer those. They do let off some juice, so they're kind of a little bit watery on the bottom. I don't want that in my sauce, so I'm going to use a slotted spoon to transfer them. Okay, now that we've transferred our veggies to a saucepan or a skillet, whichever you prefer, we are going to add 4 cups of tomato sauce. And what I did, you guys, if you don't have tomato sauce on hand, I took a jar of my home canned tomatoes and just drained most of the liquid off of them and then blitzed them with my hand blender. Instant tomato sauce if you don't have any on hand. But we need 4 cups of that. We need a 1/2 cup of apple cider vinegar. A word on vinegar, you can use any vinegar you want as long as it's at least 5% acidity. In my original Sloppy Joe recipe, I did use balsamic, and I checked the label on my balsamic. It's 6% acidity, and I could have used that, but the recipe called for apple cider, and I think that is a nice vinegar to use. It will lend some sweetness here, and it's just something a little bit different than what I normally make. So I'm using the apple cider vinegar. And then we need 1 6-ounce can of tomato paste. And then we also need a 1/2 cup of Dijon mustard. Okay, then we're going to add a 1/4 cup of firmly packed brown sugar. And then a couple of the things that are not included in the original recipe from Ball is I'm going to add some garlic powder. I'm going to add about 2 teaspoons. I like garlic in my Sloppy Joes. And then also I'm going to add a couple of teaspoons of Worcestershire. Just for flavor. You can leave it in, leave it out, or use it. It's up to you. Just a couple teaspoons, tablespoon or so. Then we're going to turn that on and we're going to bring that up to a simmer, and we're going to let that simmer for 10-15 minutes until it starts to thicken. And while that is simmering, I'm going to get my jars and my canner ready. Okay guys, my sauce has simmered for about 15 minutes. You just want it to start to thicken a little bit. And it's really good right now. Taste it and make sure you like the flavor of it. See if you want to adjust any of your seasonings. I will say that it does have a nice bite to it from the vinegar. You could add a little more sugar safely if you wanted to, but I prefer to just stick it to the recipe as much as possible because you can always doctor it up when you open it. The other thing I wanted to mention is this is good for more than just sloppy joes, you guys. This would be a great base for pepper steak. Add some ginger and some soy sauce to it and it would be a great base for pepper steak. It would be a great braising sauce for chicken or pork. You could pour it over pasta and make a goulash type dish with it. So there's lots of things you can do with it. So don't think that it's just for sloppy joes. It's not. It's just a great starter for a lot of things and wonderful to have on your shelf. So let's get started with canning. Modern canning guidelines state that you don't need to pre-sterilize your jars and lids as long as you're canning for 10 minutes or longer, and we are. So just make sure you wash them, and the lids, you want to wash them, rinse them well, set them aside. Your jars you want to keep hot. I keep mine hot in a sink full of hot water because it's convenient for me with my little setup here. So we're going to go ahead and fill our jars to, let me double check the headspace, 1/2 inch headspace. Okay, here we go. Let's grab a couple jars. This should make about 4 pint jars, so it's a nice small canning batch. Jars, and we need a funnel, and I think you can see everything okay. So we're gonna go ahead and ladle in our hot sauce. You wanna make sure your sauce is hot. Those nice chunky peppers in there, just beautiful. We want 1/2 inch of headspace. And then we want to debubble, so use your debubbling tool if you have it. If not, you can use a plastic butter knife, nothing metal, or you can use a chopstick, but we want to make sure we release any air bubbles in our jar. And then we want to wipe our rim. I use a paper towel dipped in white vinegar to wipe the rim of my jar. Make sure we get a really good seal. Oh, the other thing I forgot to mention is I have 3 quarts of simmering water in my steam canner. If you are water bath canning, you want to make sure you have enough water in your canner that it will cover your jars by at least an inch. 1 to 2 inches is what you're looking for. So anyway, we're going to place our lid, and then we're going to add our rings to fingertip tight. And then we're going to place our jars on our rack. 2 more jars. And debubble. Wipe your rims. Place your lid. Rings fingertip tight. Okay, I have just a little bit left over, but not enough to do another jar. So 4 jars, 4 pint jars, that's good. We're going to place our lid, and I'm going to crank up the heat. Now, if you are water bath canning, you're going to bring it up to a full rolling boil. Since I'm steam canning, I'm looking for my go zone, which is a green. It's on the lid. It has a dial and a gauge that tells you when it's up to temperature. So when it gets up to temperature, we are going to process for 20 minutes. And when we get there, I'll bring you back. Okay guys, my canner is up to temperature. I am in my green go zone, so I'm gonna set my timer for 20 minutes. I need 20 minutes of processing time. And then once our processing time is up, if you are water bath canning, you want to turn your heat off, remove the lid, wait 5 minutes, and then take your jars out. If you are steam canning, you can turn your heat off, remove your lid, and you can remove your jars immediately. There's no waiting time after your processing time is over with steam canning. So that's another way that we save time when we do steam canning. So I love that. The other thing I want to mention, we have everything turned up to high. That's too high for our full processing time, so you want to turn it down so that you just maintain a full rolling boil if you're water bath canning, or just stay in your green zone if you are steam canning. So don't leave it on high. Adjust your heat appropriately. Make sure you know your altitude, and see if there are any adjustments you need to make for your altitude. That's important as well. So I'll bring you back when our 20 minutes are up. Okay guys, our canning time is up. I removed the lid. If you're water bath canning, you want to wait 5 minutes. If you are steam canning, you can go ahead and remove your goodies from your canner. I'll show you up close. Isn't it beautiful? Sloppy Joe starter. But like I said, it's not just for sloppy joes. Be creative with it. I'll leave some other ideas for you in the description box below, but it's very versatile and so good to have on your shelf. So make sure, just as a reminder, to leave your jars undisturbed for 12 to 24 hours. And then you want to remove the rings, check your seals, wash your jars, and store them in a cool, dark place. So that's it for today's canning session, guys. I have some more fun things coming up for you. Another canning video coming up soon, and lots of other things going on. Some of you have asked for bread, so I'm going to be working on that as well. Leave me a comment in the comment section if you have questions. Like, subscribe, and share. And I will see you next time. Have a great day, guys.